We may be knocked out of the One Last Ride Draft League tournament, but that doesn't mean our final battle against Liv isn't important. She is currently 1-1, which means a win locks her for the next stage of the tournament. If we're going to make it difficult for her to make brackets, we are going to have to contend with a very strong balanced team headlined by one of the best Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet Draft League in Tornadus Therian. If you're excited for today's video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are still working towards our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and every subscription helps a ton towards hitting that goal. With the matchup on screen, we see a team that is going to make us work for every single kill. Tornadus Therian, Alomomola, and Charles Cyclizar all have their regenerator ability, making them very difficult to kill if we can't punish them with big damage every time they come in. Alomomola is the biggest problem for us with this game plan, as it can easily come in on Great Tusk and Roaring Moon without much risk. That is not to say Tornadus Therian won't be a big problem, as Liv can be a large range of Terra types from ground to fairy, functioning in either defensive or offensive roles. The key to this build is going to be getting rid of one of Liv's defensive pieces early, allowing us to play more aggressively and have a better time at killing the rest of them. Great Tusk leads the team builder for the final time this tournament, with the defensive Rapid Spinner packing enough attack to put pressure on Alomomola every time it comes in. Knockoff is always the key move to hit these defensive Pokemon, removing pesky Assault Vests or Rocky Helmets. Close Combat is our stab of choice, as it can OHKO Charles Cyclizar, a Pokemon we are likely going to need to switch into to punish Rapid Spin turns. Rocky Helmet might be the intuitive item to do this with, but the leftovers will be key to keeping our HP higher, allowing us to come in much more often during the game. Ice Spinner is the final move, helping prevent Dragonite from using Great Tusk as setup fodder. Choice Scarf Roaring Moon, while likely easily countered by the Alomomola in the early game, is a critical inclusion to the team to check both the Tornadus Therian and the Dragonite. In terms of Choice Scarf sets, we have a pretty simple moveset with Earthquake for Iron Treads, Dragon Claw to kill Dragonite and deal big damage to Tornadus Therian, Knockoff to remove items, and Iron Head of Whimsicott is somehow still around in the late game. Jirachi is somehow weakness policy for the third time this tournament, as the lead, looking to get rid of a Pokemon like Iron Treads or Overquill in the early game, limiting the amount of switch-ins that Liv has to my team. We had a similar game plan against D-Ray, where we set up Stealth Rocks on turn 1 and looked to punish a Rapid Spin plus Knockoff sequence with Aura Sphere at +2 against a Pokemon like Iron Treads. Dual stab coverage rounds out the set, giving us at least neutral coverage against the rest of Liv's team, hopefully picking off another Pokemon off lead. Our Terra Captain Enamorus is Terra Steel this battle, giving us another Steel type against a potential Terra Fairy Tornadus Therian. The main goal of the set is to come in on Pokemon like Charles Cyclizar, clicking Moonblast into Liv's team every time it comes in. Earth Power makes Iron Treads think twice about switching in, but hopefully that Pokemon has already been dealt with earlier by our Jirachi. Terra Blast is our final move, with Steel coverage being really good versus Terra Fairy Tornadus Therian and Whimsicott. Rocky Helmet Manaphy has a key role in this game, using its Rocky Helmet to keep as much damage as possible on the Alomomola and use Flip Turn to give us momentum into our threats like Enamorus and Roaring Moon. When we aren't clicking Flip Turn, Scald will help us fish for burns on potential switch-ins like Tornadus Therian and allow this Pokemon to check Iron Treads. Ice Beam will allow us to check Cyclizar and Dragonite, with Energy Ball rounding out the set to put even more damage on Alomomola. Swalot rounds out the team, with a specially defensive set designed to come in on Tornadus Therian, as well as keep a Leech Seed Whimsicott from ruining our day. Liquid Ooze is the perfect way to punish Whimsicott, forcing it to take damage when it tries to click Leech Seed against our team. Despite the obvious Whimsicott counterplay, the main goal of this set is to keep Tornadus Therian in control. Toxic and Knockoff help keep Assault Vest sets in check, adding a timer to how often they can stay on the field, and the ability to remove its item being very important. Pain Split gives us some additional HP if we have to take a Hurricane, and Sludge Wave finishes off the set, dealing big damage to a Terra Fairy set or killing Whimsicott. And that is our team for the final game of the One Last Ride tournament. Shout out to Kaz and Willow Rush for all the team support going into this battle. Let's see if we can shrink the game and keep Liv out of brackets. It's time for the final game of OLR pools. We are playing against Liv. This is a game that obviously does not matter too much for my run, as we're 0-2, so we can't make it to brackets out of this. But this game means a lot to Liv. If she wins, she's through. And yeah, so let's get right into it. She has Fairy Tornadus Therian. We have Steel and Amorous, as you guys saw in the team builder. So Fairy Torn was the one I kind of expected here in this matchup. I'm going to lead with Jirachi. It's weakness policy lead. It's a really similar concept to what we brought against D-Ray. This team is very, very difficult to break down, and I want to use this weakness policy Jirachi as a way to kind of like break through at least one of these Pokemon super early. If I knock down one of these threats, like the Iron Tread, like defensive Pokemon, like the Iron Treads or the Cyclizar early, this game becomes a lot easier for me to manage. So that's what I'm going for here. Good luck, have fun to live, and let's get right into it. Torn lead, what are the potential expected leads here? I expect her to just U-turn out. I think it would be pretty irresponsible for her to do almost anything else. Let's not Terra our Jirachi. That would be crazy. I'm just going to go for the Psychic here off rip. I expect a Taunt to come out here most likely, and if she goes for the she goes for the knockoff, then we do a lot of damage. So let's just Psychic here off rip. Put pressure on this thing offensively. And she's just going to go for the knockoff. So we could have gotten our, what's it called? Our Rocks up, but we got a booster weakness policy going off here. And get to put a lot of damage forward as quickly as possible, which is super nice. So in comes the Psychic. That's going to deal a good amount of damage. Yeah, that's going to do about half, almost half. I mean, she's in a position now where she definitely has to switch. So I'm just going to go for the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon does the most to cover basically anything else she has. I could Aura Sphere, actually. I think Aura Sphere actually does the most to do that. So I think she's definitely going to switch. Let's Aura Sphere, as she does U-turn. Perfect. So let's see if we can catch Iron Treads. I think is potentially the most likely, as it's the one Pokemon I think that does Okomi back. So if I can Aura Sphere here, get the Iron Treads, get a bunch of damage early on that Pokemon. As I said, my real goal in this battle is to break something here. I think this is the Overquill, though. Which I guess is fine. If I break this Pokemon, I break this Pokemon as well, which I'm super happy about. All right, let's take a look at what this set will be. Aura Sphere, this looks to be just max HP. Yeah, this looks just to be max HP. I should be able to live any hit here. I don't know why this is got Throat Chop on the default set. I mean, I'm living every hit here, right? So let's just go for the Flash Cannon and see if we can pick this Pokemon off. And I'm faster anyway, so perfect. So this should pick up a kill. There we go, perfect. Overquill down. No hazards from the Overquill to deal with, and we pick up an early kill with our Jirachi. So this was part of the goal of this set, right? Is pick off an early KO. Going to be super, super helpful in this battle, and that's one of the pieces down. So our speed comes in helpful there. We were only 80 speed on this, so this helped against like Adamant, what was it, Adamant 252 set? No. We're creeping something else, but we kind of expected her once we saw the max HP to be no speed, or no speed. That makes a lot of sense. As I said, I was high enough HP to take that anyway. Now we see where she goes from here, right? Like, interesting. I would expect you to go straight Iron Treads here, right? Like if I'm thinking like what makes the most sense, straight Iron Treads if you can kill it. It looks, if you're not going it, then that leads me to believe that you can't kill it. That doesn't change my play though. I'm always going to go hard back into my, my what's it called? I'm always going Great Tusk here. Alamomola, okay. I'm not sure what you want to do with this. I feel like you're going to try to Mirror Coat me. If I had to guess, right, you're just going to Mirror Coat. I'm just going to set my rocks. Let's not play around here. If she wants to bait me into a Mirror Coat, like I'll just take that. She could Wish, maybe. I don't know if Wish is the right play either. If it's a Wish, that makes it very much less likely to be a set that gets me here. So let's just get my rocks up. That'll be powerful for me. If she goes for the Mirror Coat, then that is great information, and we got a lot of value out of this first couple turns. And she does Mirror Coat, perfect. What a good turn. What a good opening sequence for me in this. So I have to guess this is probably AV at this point. This looks to just be a bulky Tornadus. I want to do the Calc on the Torn quickly. This looks to be... That looks to be a Saltfest Torn. Yeah, AV Torn. AV Torn is good. At this point, I'm just going to go into my Manaphy. It's technically going to reveal the Rocky Helmet, though I don't think that matters too much. I can obviously take more damage on this, but I want to preserve this Pokemon to the best of my abilities. And she's just going to Mirror Coat again, right? Like, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I guess she can Mirror Coat again, right? Like, if she just, like, I could technically just, like, sit here and do this all day. Against AV, this is not doing a lot, but I think I'll just fish for burns, honestly. Let's see. I don't want to do a lot here. I just want to fish. I just want you to flip turn out. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Get this Pokemon off the screen. We don't want to deal with it right now. Obviously, go for a little bit of a burn fish, but that looks to be AV as hell, if I had to guess. So double AV, this is kind of a little bit what we expect for this build from her, right? Is just to go very high on the Assault Vest game plan. That seemed to be the most likely avenue of attack here. Now, where we do see AV Torn, that's really good for us. Is this going to be something new? Hopefully Cyclizar? Okay, Cyclizar is in. I assume this is gonna just go for, if I go into Cyclizar. If this is AV, this is AV, right? But I'd like to just stay in and put pressure on this Pokemon. I have to assume a Rapid Spin is coming. It's the most logical play here. And Draco's not gonna do a ton to me, right? It's hard, yeah, Draco's not gonna do a ton. And like HP on this thing is nice, but I can be a little bit more flexible with my HP, given that Whimsicott is gone. So I don't have to get super aggressive with that. I'm just gonna Ice Beam. Let's see if we can get some damage here. Just go for the U-turn. That's fine. That is a crit. Okay. That's a little bit annoying. Does that tell me anything about the crit? It doesn't tell me a lot. That tells me this is physical. Yeah, this looks to be physical. A physical Cyclizar. Which I don't know if that like actually helps a lot, but I assume she just goes Aloe here. Aloe would make the most sense to go here. Yeah, and we can just attack again here. Get another little Ice Beam off. No freeze, that's fine. At this point, I do want to preserve HP. If I think about like what sequence I want to get going, so let's think about this in terms of like what we want to happen next in this battle, because I'd like this to have a little bit more HP to check the I won't check the treads if need be. I could always E-ball here to put pressure on that, but I don't think that's gonna. I don't think she's gonna go into. She's gonna Mirror Coat here, or I don't think she's gonna do anything to put this moment at risk. Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. This might be a little bit passive, but. Yeah, just go for the flip turn. What I kind of want to happen here is I want her to go Iron Treads, and I want to get in my... I want to use that to get in my Great Tusk. I want to knock here. I want to get rid of this Assault Vest. It'll make attacking through this Pokemon so much easier, especially with something like the Enamorous and with the Mirror Coat. With the Mirror Coat, I have to be so much more passive into this Pokemon. So I just have to be kind of mindful of that situation. Let's see if this is Booster. It's not Booster Energy. That's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, because we're Liquid Ooze, we're going to lose our item at some point, but let's just go into Great Tusk here. The spin is coming. You know, we did have Rocky Helmet to punish these spins earlier, but I found oftentimes that it didn't actually matter too much. The Aloe was able to get a lot of wishes off into this Pokemon, because that Pokemon was a Rocky Helmet as well in a lot of the testing we did. But where it's AV, I guess the Rocky Helmet would have been nice, actually, at this point in the battle. So let's just go right into our Great Tusk. Rapid Spin comes off, as expected. Get those rocks away. I'm just going to go for my own knockoff here. Either for some reason C stays in, and we get this item, or we get the AV on the Aloe. Either of those are pretty good results for me, so I'll take either one. I don't think she makes, like, realistically any other play. I mean, she could get it really aggressive into a Torn. That seems kind of dumb, but yeah, it's just Aloe, right? Yeah, all right, perfect. We get the item on this Pokemon. That's what matters the most. Goodbye, Assault Vest. Pretty easy turn, and then I just go right into my Manaphy. Let's just keep playing this game. Overqwil was probably not the Pokemon I really wanted to lose, to get with the what's it called? Was it probably the #1 option to get with my what's it called? My set. I don't even know why I'm waffling here. It was probably not the #1 option to get with my Jirachi lead sequence, but it is what it is. We'll take what we can get, right? Aloe is going to be a pretty pressing threat to deal with in this battle. This is going to be a long battle, chat, by the way. You got to lock in on this one. All right, in comes Torn. Torn's perfectly fine here. We just go right into the Labubu. Labubu's perfectly fine here. I mean, she probably knocks here, I would have to guess. I think her other moves are probably Terra Blast and Heat Wave. Would be my reasonable guess. And if she just goes for the knock, I can go for my own knockoff here and get the item on probably the Iron Treads, which would be nice. Just get rid of that item, which maybe Shookaberry? I'm not sure what it would be. There's a few different options at the very least. She might not knock, considering the fact that this could just be Sticky Hold. And she's just gonna knock. Okay, so we lose our leftovers. A little bit annoying, but we have the Pain Split here. To deal with that anyway. And we were Liquid Ooze for the Whimsicott that was on the bench. So let's just go for knockoff here. She's just going to U-turn. That'll be fine. Not do a lot of damage. And we got to knock off on something. I don't think you go Aloe Momola here. I think like your play is like obviously Iron Treads. It's like pretty much the most obvious play that's ever happened. You could go Aloe, but I don't see the vision there for going Aloe. Especially where Toxic is like in theory such a risk-free play for me. I mean, like it has to be knock, right? This is the Cyclizar. All right, I get the item off on the Cyclizar. I'll take that. That's a good turn for me. Boom, that is Choice Band. Okay, so CB Cyclizar, that's good to know. So this was trying to spam a bunch of CB normal attacks into me. So that's really good to get that item off there. Great turn for me. That means I can probably just go my Great Tusk, right? Like you're just not gonna have, like my physically defensive Great Tusk is just like perfectly fine to go into here. Yeah, what's the double-edged calc against Great Tusk? I'd like to know. Yeah, it's not doing anything, right? Yeah. Let's just go to Great Tusk. Take our time with this game. We got, as I said, big item removed there. Important. As we get into this game. One thing I have to relock back in on this timer, and she just goes for straight double edge. Not sure I necessarily super agree with that play. But it is what it is, I think. The only problem is I don't have a great way to punish the Aloe coming in here. I can go into my Manaphy here, and the problem is she's U-turning here. So she just goes into like the Torn probably, and that's not really productive. I think I'm just gonna close combat. I don't know. I like CCing here, just like putting a little bit of damage and then going into, let me just CC. I don't know, maybe she just randomly attacks. I don't know. This also like attacks and puts damage on the Aloe. Like this is 80 Aloe, so it'll be like 252 sassy probably on the defense and special defense. But I don't know, if I go right into Manaphy there, that's not really a productive turn for me. I guess I could have like went hard into Jirachi there and just got my rocks up. It would have been fine, but like this also like starts to keep this Pokemon low, right? Like we have to like punish this Pokemon for existing on these turns, and like get to the point where it like comes in and like takes like 5% like every like 10% every time, because there are a lot of 2-hit KO ranges on this team, especially with AV gone. A lot of 2-hit KOs get opened up. One thing that we haven't really talked about at all in this game is we do have, she just goes for the flip turn. And that's what I mean, right? Like put a little bit of chip. She's already in the yellow. She's at like 45. She gets in on 70. This is the type of chip that we need in this battle to make this sequence work. One of the things like that can potentially win the game here is my Choice Scarfed Roaring Moon is a Pokemon that hasn't really come in at all in this battle. Haven't really seen the need to do anything with that. As I assume she's just going to U-turn here. I don't have a reason to make any other play. I can go into my... I feel like you're going to U-turn. Yeah, I mean, let's just go Labubu, right? Labubu has been the play every time. If you don't U-turn, if you do like literally anything else, then this is good for us because we get to Pain Split off on something, get a bunch of health back. You're just going to knock again. Yeah, trying to get, like, catch me being aggressive, like steal an item or something. So last time I did this, I didn't Toxic. She went into Cyclizar. I got a Toxic here. I don't think you go Iron Treads. You didn't go Iron Treads last time. I might as well take a chance at you not going Iron Treads here, right? It would be the most logical thing to do. This is not the Iron Treads. Perfect. Yeah, I'll take a Toxic on the Cyclizar. This makes this Pokemon much easier to deal with. So Toxic on that Pokemon. She has revealed that she really wants to protect the item on the Iron Treads, which I assume makes me think it's like a resist barrier or something. But like Toxic on the Cyclizar now makes this Pokemon so much less efficient and actually like doing something this battle, as I get to go into Great Tusk. And now, like if you think about like the chip that we're getting on this Aloe, right? She can, like, if she just like double edges here, like if I close combat, then like her Aloe's in a really, really particular position, like difficult position, and she just goes for the knockoff. Like that's not even something I'm super worried about here. And obviously this Pokemon's going to be able to come back in at full HP in the future, but like she can't even switch into this now. Do I get aggressive and Ice Spinner as a result? I think going Aloe is really, really tough here. I got to catch something here at some point, right? Like one of the ways that I win this game is like by catching something aggressively. I'll just Ice Spinner here. Yeah, go for the U-turn. She has to expect CC, right? And CC into CC has a good chance of just like killing the Aloe Momola at this point. So if I can get an Ice Spinner off on the Torn, then I'll be super happy with that. But if not, then I can just, that's going to be a little bit of damage. I get the flip turn, Rocky Helmet, and like we're chilling from there. The Toxic on this turn sequence is the most important part of what's going on here so far. Let's see what she wants to do. I'd really like to catch her being aggressive here. That's one thing I feel like I've not done well in my battles recently is like kind of make these plays to get like a lot of advantage. Because if she goes Torn here, then I'm in such an amazing spot, right? Like that is such a boon for my game plan here the rest of the way. And she does go into it here. Perfect. Yeah, big Ice Spinner. We'll take that. That's going to be a lot of damage here. That's actually not a lot of damage. Damn. Great Tusk. Your ass, bro. So what is this? Is this full Fizz Def? Damn. Okay. Great Tusk. You. That is full bold. That's a min roll full bold. Wow. That's crazy work. Damn. Okay. No damage on you, buddy. But I guess that's good information to have. That's super funny though. I was like, damn, I'm gonna get this play red, it'll be fire. Yeah, I guess it's not actually that fire. You're just gonna eat that. I figure with AV you would have a little bit more on the other side, but yeah, that's probably fine. And she's just gonna utilize her Terra here. Probably maybe a Terra Blast here. Not sure if that's the angle she wants to go for, but if I look at Jirachi, Jirachi's going to take like 36 to 43 from the Heat Wave. So we are going to be able to come in this Pokemon with Jirachi at some point and be fine. And she's just going to go for the Terra Blast. So another move revealed here. And we eat that all day of the week. Bleakwind, the last move, does have a lot of viability. 114. If it's Hurricane, I mean, I don't think it'll be Hurricane, right? But Hurricane, we live that too. And I think she's just going to go into... She might go Iron Treads here. I'm going to Pain Split. I'm going to try to get some HP back. Whatever she goes into here will give me a lot of HP. And if it's something like the Cyclizar in particular, that's going to be super nice. We take a lot of HP, gain our HP back, and she's going to start getting worn down by that Toxic. So, Nabia, the former Titan, this is the Iron Treads, right? Yeah, good to get this HP back. Jump on this Pokemon is super nice. And we go right back into our Great Tusk. One of the things I am a little bit concerned about going as we go further into this battle is Dragonite is a problematic Pokemon for me to deal with, I think. I don't have a lot of good ways to manage that Pokemon. I think long term, I think all I need here is I just need one more piece to fall. She goes for rocks, okay. I could go for the spin here. She doesn't have a spin blocker. The Aloe didn't come in last time, which makes me like kind of want to deal with that. I could knock here. I think I have to, like, if I could knock, remove the Assault Vest, that makes me a little bit more comfortable with my Enam in this situation. And I can find another turn to get this off, right? Let's just go for the knock. I want to get rid of this. And because of the fact that she's Terrad, that means she's probably going to feel a lot more safe going into this. I don't think she's going to go Aloe here. She does go Aloe? Okay. Yeah, they're just trying to catch the Torn here. I guess like the close combat probably is not killing that. Let's just go into our Manaphy. Keep that sequence up as much as we can. These sequences are still pretty good for us. I want to get a situation now. I need to knock off the Treads. That's my next big objective in this battle. Is I've hit like almost every objective that I've had in this battle so far. We're keeping the Aloe low, like it's at about like 45 still, so it's gonna get up a decent amount, but like we're still in an okay-ish position. In comes this Pokemon. Cyclizar, as it is, still poisoned. We gotta get our rocks back up, but let's just go into the Great Tusk. I think this might put us in a position where we might lose our Great Tusk. I don't like that, but I don't have a good switch in otherwise, so this is kind of the nature of how these teams play. 265, let's see how much damage this does. Double Edge, 265 down to 154. So that's fine. We live the next one, and we can get a spin off here. So spin off here will be super, super nice, and that removes an entry hazard from our side. Losing, as I said, this is such a big battle of attrition right here. U-turn, that's gonna mean we don't die to the next Double Edge at least, and she's got no Ghost Head to block this, so. And she can't go back into Iron Treads here to get her Stealth Rocks back up because I just attack after, right? So now I got to think about what do I need to accomplish? As I said, what I'm thinking about, like big picture in this battle is like what do we need to accomplish at these points, right? Like what are the major roadblocks to get over? The Aloe is obviously the big one, Though Aloe will easily find an opportunity for that. I feel like at some point, right? Like it's surely gonna come. Especially with something like the Enamorous, it'll be so relevant. And something like the Scarf, what's it called? Roaring Moon will find an opportunity as well. I mean, this flip turn's coming, but as I said, like this is always my play here. Let's just keep this cycle going. She can't go and set up her rocks here. Is kind of the main thing I want to do here. And she just goes for the flip turn. Okay. So keeping the Aloe at a reasonable, so we're at 50 now. This gains like about 3% each time it happens, right? But this Pokemon is still in problematic territory at some point. Especially in a situation where I get Enamorous in uninterrupted. She is going to use this as an opportunity to get her rocks up. Really? Okay. Wasn't expecting that. What is my speed on this? We don't know anything about this set. So like it would have to be like a max speed for this to work out. It's got to have some sort of speed, right? And if it does, I can go Enam. Well, I can't go Enam after the fact, right? This is one of those like TSN turning point games where I think I'm just going to Scald. See if I'm faster. Earth Power, okay. Lose a Pokemon here, not great. But I learned that this is special now. I learned that this is special. I can go into Great Tusk now. Oh, I guess I can't go into Great Tusk. This is kind of a throw. This is kind of a throw. I don't like this. This was just this is just an ill-advised moment. Yeah, because you just like Flash Cannon, right? No, Flash Cannon does less. You don't in theory know my set. I don't like this. This is kind of a throw. This is kind of a scam play. I don't like this. I should have gone into my, what's it called? My Roaring Moon here. I guess I could scare her out. Let's see. This is probably bad. Okay, I scare her out. Good. All right. That could have been really bad, chat. That could have been bad. Xiaonian, yeah, in comes this. This is so safe for her to go into. A good chip, but like not super relevant, right? And now I'm just going to go back into Labubu. It's just my safe play. We can U-turn back into Treads, but I think we're at the point where we're starting to run out of tools kind of quickly, and we need to get something to go right here. U-turn, that's fine. Now that this is special, does Labubu live one? Labubu does live here. Labubu lives and I can get a knockoff here, which is kind of nice. Labubu lives and I get a knockoff. I could also pain split this thing down, but I do just want to remove the item. Let's think about, all right, so let's take stock of where we're at here in terms of like what we can do to actually win this game. Alomomola still a big threat, though. Enam should be able to punch through that. Enam should be able to punch through, honestly, the rest of this build. Does Cyclostar get fucking Earthquake or something? It doesn't. It's like Fire Fang is its move to hit me when I'm Steel type. I'm gonna knock here. Pain Split also could be nice, but I'd rather just remove the item from this Pokemon. Yeah, I'll just remove the item from this Pokemon. Yeah, she just gets up her rocks. Perfect. I was thinking, like, if I Pain Split there and she doesn't even attack, like, what have I even accomplished? And that's an item gone from this Pokemon. What was that? Soft Sand. Okay, that's probably good for me then, that item is removed. I should be able to now just Pain Split here, get all this HP back, and put this thing in range of an attack from my Iron Tread, or my, what's it called? My Roaring Moon here. Yeah, let's just Pain Split, because we live every hit here, now that we know this set, right? We could be... there's one roll that kills us from Timid, and all the Modest rolls kill us. But if it's Modest, then we go straight into Enam and start putting big pressure on. So let's just Pain Split, take a little bit of HP back. So Timid or Modest, what are you? Timid, okay, perfect. Give me a little bit of HP back, yum yum yum. And this thing now can't switch into Moonblast, which is super, super nice. Do I make a play here? I don't think so. I think Labubu, your time to shine, I think, is unfortunately over. Though, I think, with the Timid, what is Jirachi looking like living-wise? Jirachi could live. Yeah, the problem is we're going to have to go Roaring Moon after this. I could save this, but I don't think that's going to be super productive use of my time. What do I do to protect against something? I'll just fucking Toxic. You're going to kill me anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, Labubu. You put in your best foot forward. But now it's time to get in our Roaring Moon and start putting pressure on this team. What is the best move to click into Aloe here? It's definitely Dragon Claw. Aloe, Iron Treads. Doesn't kill. Let's just Earthquake here and see if she allows us to get this Pokemon. All right, she just allows us to have Iron Treads. That's nice. Perfect. All right, one more Pokemon down. She doesn't want to get it to get complicated with the Aloe, because Aloe does die. It could die to CB rolls there, which is definitely something she doesn't want to do, right? Like, that's super risky for her, not worth taking. Definitely understand that one from her perspective. She's running out of Pokemon, chat, which is nice. Very, very nice to see that, which makes this game a little bit easier. This is just the Aloe, right? All right, perfect. This is... I mean, I wouldn't say... Yeah, I mean, this could be worse in theory. The problem is we've lost Manaphy. We don't have a great flip turn angle. We could go into Jirachi here to take this flip turn. Yeah, let's just go into Jirachi. It's our only play to go into flip turn here at this point. So even get a Rocks Up. She doesn't have a spinner anymore. Getting a Rocks Up would be kind of nice. I don't think she's going to allow us to do that, but especially now that we know that it's AV. I don't know what she would do here. She might just play rough here to protect against like random, like Dragon Dance, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. The problem now is because she's very torn. This, in theory, does get a little more difficult. She's got to flip. Yeah, just flip. That's so safe. Like, there's no reason to get overcomplicated with this. What's really good here now is Enam with Steel Terra against like an AV Tornadus. Takes a lot with Durin. This is the Dragonite. Okay. So she's gonna go for game here, probably. I think this is a little bit of trouble here. This could spell a little bit of trouble for me. What is my best play against that? I could go hard Enam. Is hard Enam ever a play? I don't like that. I'm just gonna Psychic here. She is just gonna Dragon Dance. I could have... I was thinking about going... Yeah, hard Enam is so tough there. I just have to break this. I don't know if there's a situation I have that I can do anything but this. Spit F Drop is kind of funny, actually. It kind of... Spit F Drop actually incentivizes her to attack here. Which if she is incentivized to attack, then I can go into my Roaring Moon. And after you're at like 80, right? Yeah, you just die here. So you're actually a little bit incentivized to attack and not Dragon Dance again. So I'll just Psychic again. You're very incentivized to attack here. Because I have so many things can come back and end this for you potentially. No, you can Dragon Dance again, actually. I guess I guess if you attack... I guess it's wishful thinking for me to want to attack, though. I think if you Dragon Dance again, you're in a little bit of a bind here. I think if this goes wrong... You're in a little bit of a bind if this goes wrong. So you're just going to Dragon Dance again. Yeah. This isn't good, chat. I think this is going to come down to a 50-50 with Enamorous, which I don't like. Because if I crit, this is obviously super beneficial. Okay. So Earthquake is killing. We go to Enam. With Enam, it's a 50-50. What's your moveset? All right. Let's think about the moveset here, because this will help really determine whether what the best click is. So she could be, I would expect Extreme Speed. I'm just going to Psychic here. Earthquake, okay. Extreme Speed, it does not kill Enamorous. This is a 50-50 now. I can't go into this. Does this live? I mean, this gets outspent, right? Yeah, like I'm 44. I didn't creep. Am I ever able to outspeed? I'm able to outspeed Adamant. I can't get Jolly here. Interesting. I can get Adamant here, but I would have had to go to it immediately. Let's go Enam. Let's force a 50-50 here. I love Extreme Speed from Adamant. So I love Extreme Speed from Adamant. You could Ice Spinner, Extreme Speed. It's 50-50. I mean, it's pure 50-50, right? Like, I don't have anything else. There's nothing else that I can really do here. What gets me out with the most HP? If you Earthquake, that's raw. I feel like you have to... What is your move? Extreme Speed? I feel you Extreme Speed, I think, right? And I live Extreme Speed. I live Extreme Speed. I think you're going to Extreme Speed. I'm going to Moonblast. Yes. Oh my god, I could have... I could have Steel typed there. Oh, I could have Steel typed there. I had to protect against the Earthquake, I think. I had to protect against Earthquake, I think. I'm not super in love with that play, but... Yeah, I guess it's so, like, yeah, maybe a little bit of regret on that one. If we go into Pokemon here, the problem is I can't do much now. I don't think I was able to do much anyway in this battle, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. I don't know how much I could have really accomplished once that Dragonade's got into play. Like if I Terra, I'm at 60. Like the problem is I just died a Heat Wave, and like I think Torn just beats me from this point anyway. So I don't think this actually matters too much. I guess if I just attack here, does that change anything? I guess I'll just throw my Terra up, why not? I don't think I can get a Healing Wish that accomplishes a lot in this spot. Let's just Moonblast. Yeah, I mean like a little bit of regret, but I'm thinking it's like what? Yeah, I think actually I should have Terra. I actually don't think it matters too much at the end of the day. As I said, because I'm pretty sure that I just lose straight up to this Pokemon here. The what's it called? The Torn in the back. And she just reveals Aqua Jet anyway. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. So I think this is going to be the end of OLR. We go 0-3 in pools. I guess this wouldn't have had that specific interaction wouldn't have happened if I Terra'd, but then she would just be able to go for what's it called? Mirko. Sorry chat, not locked in. Yeah, let's just go for close combat. And this is going to be a 3-0 loss to Liv. Good game to Liv. I think she played this one very, very well. This is a very, very tough matchup. I think there were maybe some opportunities I could have maybe got a knock. I think the Ice Spinner actually was maybe a mistake. Only that I think I could have gotten an opportunity to knock that Tornadus, and it could have made it a little bit easier in this end game. But I don't think that actually matters. And the Dragonite, where it was Adamant, I actually should have gone. I should have gone into the Roaring Moon where I was Choice Scarf. That playing around Jolly there, I think is, I wouldn't say a losing. It's kind of a losing play, I think. So I think that's where this game went wrong, unfortunately. Especially considering how much damage that did. Like, it's definitely Adamant Dragonite. So good game to Liv. Played this one very, very well. Obviously, this one, you know, this tournament obviously feels a little bit bad to go 0-3, especially where I had a tough LTM, but plenty of opportunity to do well in the next league that we play in. But we still got a little bit of OLR. We're going to have a little bit of a loser's bracket fun coming your way. Let's just go here for the Iron Head. See if we can catch the Torn, right? Why does that outspeed? Am I dumb? Did I miss something here? What's going on? How did that outspeed? Oh, it rapid spin. That's why. Okay, that makes way more sense. All right, Aloe comes in. I mean, we can flinch this a million times, but she's just Aqua Jets. So, yeah, maybe we should have gone into this instead of the Enamorous. A lot to consider there, but, you know, got to make the winning play sometime. I should have probably made the winning play there. Go there, just Dragon Claw, and my kill. Get out of there, and hopefully Enamorous is enough to clean up the rest of the Pokemon. But that is all that we wrote for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's battle, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We will see you all next time. And as always, have a wonderful day. Like, this game still isn't going on. And there we go, the final Pokemon down. And as always, have a wonderful day. Good luck to Liv in brackets. And on to the next one.